This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. 911 calls related to youth substance use have nearly doubled in the last 10 years. Support workers say young people are struggling with drug addiction and have nowhere to go. The province is set to open its first supervised consumption site in a week, and just a few months ago began accepting people at a new 72-hour detox center. But both only help adults, and critics say not enough is being done to help the younger generation in need. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel reports.
So this is naloxone. Naloxone has 4 vials in each kit.
Alexa Legier has to use her naloxone kit at least twice a day on Main Street in downtown Winnipeg. This Community 204 support worker says at least once a day it's for teens.
2 weeks ago, we had 3 girls under the age of 18 experience a drug poisoning. That's something I haven't seen in the past.
Are you okay?
Paramedic responses linked to substances, especially opioids, have surged in Winnipeg in the last decade. So have calls about youth, according to data from the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. Between 2016 and 2025 in Winnipeg, calls involving substances in youth nearly doubled, as did calls about alcohol. Cases related to crystal meth doubled, while calls reporting opioid use saw the biggest % increase.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
Sherry Gott is Manitoba's child and youth advocate. Between limited access and long wait lists, she says existing addiction services and prevention work aren't meeting the growing needs of youth. Neither will 2 major NDP government projects to address the toxic drug crisis. Manitoba's first supervised consumption site opening August 11th is for adults, as is the nearby 72-hour detox center.
Youth should not be placed with adults. You know, there's risks involved with that. And as far as I know, there's nothing that has been developed, and it's really concerning. You know, we're failing our youth in Manitoba because of the lack of response by government.
For years, the Children's Advocate has called on the province to develop a mental health and substance use strategy for youth. Addictions and Homelessness Minister Bernadette Smith did not say if they were.
We are continuing to listen, to look at what's needed and institute those as we hear. So whether that's, more huddle sites, whether that's more supports and services for youth on, bed-based or daytime, more housing with wraparound supports, we're going to continue to do that work.
The province recently opened its 7th Huddle, a mental health and wellness youth hub in Portage La Prairie, with another one slated for northern Manitoba.
A lot of the kids that we work with, they come from very busy, hectic environments.
Daniel Hidalgo runs Community 204, an organization that pairs mentors with more than 300 underserved youth. He says the program has helped keep kids engaged and out of trouble for nearly a decade.
We've created a wonderful cycle where the youth that, are susceptible to a lot of those negative things, whether it's substance use or addictions or unhealthy methods of coping, they have a support that's been there for years.
For Alexa Legier, who navigated addictions and homelessness as a youth herself, it's programs like these that will continue making a difference. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg's professional basketball team says its star player was assaulted and badly injured by security staff at a nightclub. It happened Sunday night in downtown Winnipeg and led to significant injuries that left Teddy Allen in hospital. The Sea Bears will now start the playoffs without one of their key teammates. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
The Winnipeg Sea Bears are gearing up for a playoff run, but it's going to start without star player Teddy Allen. The team says he was assaulted in Winnipeg on Sunday night. In a statement Tuesday, the team said, "What we've seen and heard to date leads us to believe that Teddy was the victim of an assault at the hands of security at a downtown nightclub." The statement goes on to say, "No person should ever be subjected to the brutality of what happened to Teddy, and we are counting on police to fully investigate and hold accountable those responsible for the assault." Head coach and general manager Mike Rainbow did not answer any further questions about the incident Tuesday.
We're thinking about Teddy as a human and as a person and as a friend and as a teammate. So, obviously those things are there. Today was a a work day, but also a heavy heart day where we're thinking about them, and the guys are obviously thinking about them as well.
You got hit on that last foul. Here's a three for Allen!
Allen was the Canadian Elite Basketball League's 2023 Player of the Year with the Sea Bears. He was dropped from the roster in 2024, but returned to Winnipeg this season. In July, he set league and franchise records for most points scored in a single game and most points by a player in a season. The Sea Bears say Allen is out of the hospital, but will require follow-up care and potentially surgery. He won't play in Thursday's playoff game.
We're here to play basketball, so obviously it's an unfortunate circumstance, but at the end of the day, we're here to do a job, and that's what we're going to do.
The Sea Bears did not say where the incident happened in their statement. Winnipeg police are investigating, but had no further updates Tuesday. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A drunk driver who killed 2 cyclists in Winnipeg has been sentenced to 8 years behind bars and faces possible deportation. Kerry Bonner and Igor Popov were fatally struck by a speeding driver along Kenniston Boulevard last summer. Kuldeep Singh Gill admitted to drinking an unknown amount of alcohol before getting behind the wheel. He took off after hitting the couple. The judge called his actions highly dangerous and morally repugnant. The couple's 19-month-old child now left without its parents.
I wouldn't like to be in his shoes, never. Not because of his 8 years, but for being responsible for the life of 2 people, 3 actually, because the child is being orphaned now.
The judge also ordered a lifetime driving ban. Gill is a permanent resident and now faces likely deportation. Graffiti in several South Winnipeg parks is now being cleaned up. At least 3 were targeted and tagged with hateful and violent language. The vandalism has shaken many who live nearby. CBC's Alicia Wang has more.
These workers are in the process of removing graffiti across several parks in South Winnipeg. The paint was discovered over the weekend, containing hateful messages against the Indian community and homophobic slurs. 3 parks were affected: Eaglewood Park, Jinnah Park, and Bridgewater Trails Fountain. The city of Winnipeg sent crews out on Tuesday to remove the graffiti. Local resident Jasmine Brar says she's thankful towards the crews and the police, but that there should be a system in place to make cleanup faster.
This should have treated as a hate crime. Our children, our families, and our seniors shouldn't have to see this, not even for a day, never mind the whole weekend.
Brar says similar graffiti appeared a few months ago and that the incidents changed the atmosphere of the area.
They don't feel safe sending their kids to the park. Basically our kids and our families couldn't use the park for the long weekend. Since I'm the only one who openly posted about it, and now I'm being harassed online.
Janice Lukes, city councillor for Waverly West, says the graffiti made her angry as well.
It's racism, it's defacing public property, and I don't know what kind of humans do that, So it's frustrating, it's maddening, it's disappointing, it's just a whole bunch of emotions.
But she says that people need to realize that other factors prevent cleanups from happening immediately.
It is a long weekend, that we do work in a unionized environment where collective agreements reduce the number of employees on weekends, and that we do have graffiti and terrible things going on in other parts of the city too.
As the Winnipeg police continue their investigation, the city aims to finish cleanup by the end of Tuesday. Alicia Wang, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, let's bring Riley in now. Riley, a long weekend for many people around the province. A pretty nice weekend out there temperature-wise, and today a little cooler than we've seen.
Yeah, that's a result of a cold front, Brittany, that moved through the province yesterday, bringing a few isolated showers, but also helped to kind of clear some of that haze or even some locally smoky conditions out of the province. That, by the way, what we saw over the weekend in parts of the province was smoke and haze from the wildfires that are burning in parts of the northwest U.S. Into Oregon and Washington state, for example, all being picked up by the upper level winds and pushed northeastward into the southern prairies. Today, cooler than seasonal thanks to that cold front that pushed through. You probably noticed that. 11 degrees this morning, 22 by the afternoon in Winnipeg. Winnipeg, but barely cracking 20 in parts of western Manitoba. Brandon at 20, Roblin 19, Thompson 18 through the afternoon after some showers and thunderstorms in parts of northern Manitoba yesterday. All the result of an area of low pressure now parked over parts of Hudson Bay, and still some extra cloud cover and a couple of scattered showers associated with that pushing through parts of eastern Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. Another seasonal night, 12 degrees overnight in Winnipeg. Open the windows if you can, because we're looking at some nice fresh air as we get through the night tonight. Partly cloudy, 14 degrees first thing in the morning. And there is the chance we see a few scattered or some isolated showers as we head into the afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds, a pretty decent day, a seasonal 26, Brittany, into the afternoon. I'll go into a bit more detail on where we'll see a bit more rain in the province when I come back.
And officially August.
Yes.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Police bust what some say is a problem property in the neighborhood. The latest on the arrests and seizures next. Some people living in West Broadway say a recent police raid is bringing a sense of relief. 7 people have been charged after police busted a suspected drug trafficking house in the neighborhood. As CBC's Gavin Axelrod reports, the property has been the center of multiple community complaints.
Winnipeg police converged on this Yonge Street home Wednesday, executing a search warrant after complaints about drug trafficking and other disturbances. There were cruisers, unmarked vehicles, and the tactical unit. A welcome sight for Rick Terrio.
Everyone in the neighborhood, they're walking by, because I'm usually outside having a coffee or something, and they're like, yeah, right on. Everybody's ecstatic.
He says over the last few months, large crowds had been gathering at the home, and people were routinely high on drugs or had overdosed. He says police were often in the area.
They're leaners, man. They just lean. They're doing the, what's it called there? The one guy stopped me when I talked to him. He said, trank. He said it's called trank. I'm like, so what's trank? He's like, it's a tranquilizer.
Police say they seized 1 ounce of fentanyl, 2 grams of crack cocaine, 2 sawed-off shotguns, several swords and machetes, ammunition, and close to $1,700 cash. Neighbors told us they also saw open drug use and believe all the extra traffic led to theft and property damage.
But I didn't want to get involved because they started coming after me. I just have to stay in the house and look through the window and survey.
There was always people in crisis. There's garbage everywhere. There was actually a bike shop in the Elam parking lot. There was people having sex out there.
7 people were arrested. A 53-year-old and 32-year-old man, along with 3 women in their 20s, were detained in custody. They're facing numerous drug and weapons charges. 2 other women face similar charges, but were released under a promise to appear in court. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The U.S. State Department wants to close its Winnipeg-based consulate. As the CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco shows us, businesses on both sides of the border might be the ones bearing the brunt of the decision.
The United States is a key destination for Manitoba's pork exports, over $360 million in 2024, in part with the help from the U.S. consulate in Winnipeg. The U.S. State Department notified Congress it plans to close 5 foreign missions, including its only posting between Calgary and Toronto. The latest Winnipeg consulate opened its doors in 2001, its main role around facilitating trade relationships. Now that could be gone.
Hopefully, at the end of the day, it's not what happens.
André Bren is the CEO of the Winnipeg World Trade Center. He says the U.S. consulate helps companies set up across the border, but Bren says the office has another role, to advocate for Manitoba's economy within the U.S.
That might be the biggest hole that's left if they leave, in the sense of, who's now informing the U.S. ambassador in Ottawa on what's going on here.
That includes what the province can offer in industries like critical minerals. Political economic specialists worked for the U.S. consulate for 20 years. He says looking out for trade possibilities and resolving issues was a role of the mission. Having a consulate close by was important.
A lot of geography, a lot of people, and a lot of issues that it's very hard to address from that distance. So I think it makes a lot of sense to have a consulate in the middle of the country.
The U.S. consulate in Winnipeg offers emergency assistance to Americans, but it doesn't process visa applications or issue passports. A professor says any disruption will be a bigger loss for the U.S.
It's eyes and ears of Americans for, about what's going on here. The Americans will still get this information, most likely, but it's going to be from someone in Washington now, so it's not going to be as accurate.
The U.S. Department of State says it's trying to streamline operations. In the event of a closure, the office's responsibilities will be taken over by Ottawa. Bren says this serves as a reminder.
That we can't rely just on the U.S., so I think we should be looking at other countries that don't have consuls here.
He hopes the decision can be reversed in favor of trade on both sides of the border. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The fallout continues from the short-lived WestJet strike, even as the airline works to resume normal service. Many travelers remain stranded at airports across Canada and overseas, some expressing frustration, while others are just happy to be rebooked on the first available flights.
We know today that we're going home Thursday, supposed to be home Sunday, but we're getting there.
WestJet says a full return to normal operations will take time. Flight attendants walked off the job Sunday morning, prompting the company to ground all flights. But on Monday, the two sides reached a tentative deal that employees have 30 days to ratify. The union says the deal includes pay increases, but wouldn't provide any further details. Well, it was the long weekend for many people. Lots of people out at cottages, out in the city too, just enjoying the beautiful weather because it wasn't too hot, not too cold. It was kind of that perfect summer weekend.
And not too sticky.
And not too sticky.
Muggy out there.
Except for the mosquitoes, but that's another issue.
That's a whole different can of worms. I was talking a little earlier about some of that smoke, and some of the haze that parts of not just Manitoba, but further west into Saskatchewan have seen. We are still seeing some fires burning in our province as well, although the number of fires burning in Manitoba is significantly going down. So I'm going to start with that just to give you a bit of a snapshot of where we're at as of today. 22 fires burning in Manitoba. I know the province has been over the past few days here doing a bit of catch up with some of the data, but this number, compared to where we were last week, even significantly down. And a real significant decrease from this time last year. So total fires to date in the province this summer, 301. That is a little bit below average. 305 is our average number of fires, both burning and extinguished for this time of the year. And with the warmer, drier weather that has increased fire danger a bit, and the fact that we'll also see a little bit of wind into the mix for the next couple of days here. So much of southern and central Manitoba, even into parts of northeastern Manitoba, in that high to extreme fire danger for tomorrow. So be fire aware, be fire smart, especially when we see some windy conditions. Things can get out of control quite quickly. So just keep that in mind if you've got any plans over the next couple of days here. Here's that cold front that helped to bring the temperatures down and also introduced a bit more of a drier air mass as we push through the day today. As we get into the day on Wednesday, we will start mainly sunny, a few clouds here and there, but our next weather maker is a weak trough that'll push across the province as we get through the afternoon. This could trigger a few scattered showers, maybe some isolated rumbles of thunder through the later afternoon through the Interlake into the Red River Valley, but a more steady rain into northern parts of the province. And this follows by another area of low pressure that'll push through central Manitoba as we get through the day on Thursday. This also looking to bring some promising moisture to central and northern parts of the province. But into Thursday, this could bring us a few scattered showers or, again, some isolated thunderstorms to parts of southern, particularly southeastern Manitoba, northwestern Ontario through the later part of the day on Thursday. So generally looking at a pretty good 10 to 15 millimeters through much of central and into parts of northern Manitoba, where we do see some thunderstorms. There could be some higher amounts in there, but pretty, generally speaking, a good soaking coming to much of the north. But the result will be some windy conditions that pick up even by the morning tomorrow, looking at winds out of the southwest, 20 gusting to about 40 through southern Manitoba. Could see some gusts 50 plus, particularly into northeastern Manitoba, which is still dealing with the effects of that first system that pushed through over the weekend, and winds will stay relatively breezy as we get into the day on Thursday even. So your temperatures tomorrow rebounding closer to seasonal once again, 26 in Winnipeg, 23s, 24s in southwestern Manitoba, and that chance of showers and some thunderstorms through central and northern parts of the Brittany as we get through the afternoon, and pretty much a carbon copy as we get into the day on Thursday.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, it's where she grew up, and now this park is extra special to one Manitoba curler. We'll explain after the break.
All right, welcome back. Time for a look at your dog walking forecast. And the treat of a short week is that tomorrow is already Wednesday, so the middle of the week. How about Winnie? What a cutie. Thank you, Pat, for sending this picture. And Winnie hoping for some cooler weather, so I hope you enjoyed the day today. Tomorrow, very seasonal, starting around 14 degrees. There is the outside chance of a few isolated showers into the afternoon, but you will notice a southwesterly wind picking up through the day tomorrow and into the evening. Fairly decent with that chance of a few scattered showers early on. Cold front will come through as we get through Thursday. That could bring us a few isolated thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon. 28 degrees, that cools us down for Friday. 23, and then we stay around the 25-degree mark as we get through the weekend, and lots of sunshine through Saturday and Sunday. One weather picture that I took just outside of CBC here.
I was waiting for your credit at the top there.
Riley L. took this picture downtown.
Thanks for sending that in, Riley.
Winnipeg Park is getting a rockin' new name, and it's a familiar one to many Manitobans.
She's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, a force in the Canadian curling world, and a mom. Here's tonight's Daily Lift.
Be able to drive by this sign with my children and sure that this is Mommy's Park is very, very special.
Of course, that is Caitlin Laws. Lindenwood's Drive West Park was renamed after curling Olympian Caitlin Laws this morning. Laws won a gold medal at the 2014 and 2018 Olympics. Her mom and two daughters were with her today. She says this renaming is an incredible honor for her and her entire family.
Took my first steps, learned how to ride a bike, went to school in this area, and of course coming to these parks is the best memories of my childhood. So it's a wonderful place to grow up and raise a family. Once I did grow up, I bought my first home as well in Lindenwood. So this community means everything to me. It is home.
The effort to rename the park started back in 2018 after her mixed doubles Olympic gold medal win. Representatives from the St. Vital Curling Club and Sport Manitoba were also in attendance. Both groups highlighted her many contributions to curling and the Manitoba community. Well deserved.
I think it would just be so cool to go and sit in your park.
In your own park, I know.
With her kids. Very cool.
The only thing missing is a
Congratulations.
statue of her there.
Maybe next.
Yeah.
Who knows? Have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Have a good one.
But very cool to go with her daughters and be able to sit there.
And her mom.
And her mom.
Yes.